Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I wanted to do a chatty get ready with me. And I realized as I'm sitting here, I normally have like a cup of coffee because it's morning. It's late enough in the day that, it's after lunch and we swung through Sonic. And so you might catch that my tongue is blue because I'm still drinking my coconut water slush. Empty calories, I know, but still so delicious. So excuse my blue tongue and potentially blue teeth. They might get there as I continue to sip as we go. Hope you're having an amazing day. I have stuff picked out. I don't know, I might kind of veer off based on how things go, but I am going to start with this product right here. This is from Beauty Pie. This is their SuperLuminous Under Eye Genius Corrector. This is the shade Light Medium. I have been looking for a good alternative to my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Vanish, and I really like that product, but it's expensive. It's a lot. And this product, I'm still trying to see whether we get along and whether I like it or not. I feel like the tone is a little bit different. The one from Charlotte Tilbury is a little bit more peach in tone, and this one is a little bit more pink. It's very brightening though, and I do like that. I also feel like this one's just a hair more emollient than the one from Charlotte Tilbury. I've heard some people say, now I haven't tried it, so I wouldn't know, that this is a great dupe for the Becca Corrector. I forget what the name of that one is, but I never got around to trying it. And now I won't because in a month and a half they'll be out of business, which is so sad. I do use this more than just under my eyes for dark correction. I do put it on top of my hyperpigmentation spots, and I feel like it does make a difference. I don't use a ton of it, but I feel like it does get rid of some of the remnants of my melasma that I've been trying so hard to get rid of. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I'm in the middle of a declutter series right now, and I have another one. I'm going to do another one after I'm done with this video. But you know what I've noticed is I'm reaching for stuff that I haven't reached for in a long time because I can see it all. Which is a great way to remind myself that I don't need as much as I have been buying. And I am one of those people. I do have really good tactics to keep myself from over purchasing, and yet I still do. I think that's rather funny. Last week was kind of a stressful and weird week for me. Somebody even mentioned it in my Wednesday Get Ready With Me. They mentioned that I seemed a little bit not myself. I think that's the best way to say it. I think that's what they said. They said, you don't seem like yourself. Is everything okay? And the truth was, it was a really stressful week. So last week was my husband's first week back at work. And on Tuesday, we found ourselves at the ER because one of the potential complications of his surgery is calcium deficiency, and the symptoms for calcium deficiency are numbness and tingling in your hands, your feet, your face. And his surgeon had said, if you feel any of that, take some calcium, and if it persists, get to the ER. So he did. And he calls me, bless his heart. He's like, well, I'm here at work, but I started tingling a little bit, and I took some calcium, and then I kept working and I wasn't feeling any better, so I took some more calcium. I was like, why did you take 2 doses? You should have just taken 1 and then gone to the doctor. And he's like, and now I'm checking myself into the ER. And I was like, I'll be right there. So I got in the car and I drove over. I'm just using the Laura Geller Baked Balance in Brighten. I've been using this a lot recently. Made it to the ER and sat there with my husband for hours before they were finally able to see him. They did some labs. Everything was fine. They made sure that his calcium level was good. Calcium level was fine. I was like, wait, what? Okay, good. You're not having any problems. They said, but looks like all your labs are fine. If you feel this way again, come back. I was like, that's not very reassuring. I thought it was, you're fine. But this is something I didn't know it was actually kind of a big deal. I didn't know that the parathyroid is a gland right behind the thyroid here in your neck, and it can potentially get damaged during surgery. It's a very small gland, and it doesn't take a lot for it to, get damaged, a small nick or something, and it can stop regulating the calcium in your body, and bad things can happen. I had no idea. And they're like, it's very serious. If you don't treat it, it can be fatal. And I was like, we'll be back if we have any problems. Guess what? Next day, more problems. And he was like, I don't want to have to keep going back to the ER. They're going to think I'm a hypochondriac. And I said, no, no, no. You had surgery 2 weeks ago. You're not a hypochondriac. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. I'm going to use this to set my under eye. This is the One Powder Wonder from Beauty Pie. I obviously have hip hand. I'm just going to go around the edges and pick up some of this. I really like this powder a lot. Anyway, so we're back on Wednesday at urgent care, and Wednesday had already been a busy day for me. That was the day that I got up early and I recorded my previous last week's Get Ready With Me, and I was already planning on, you know, spending the morning at the dentist. My youngest needed to have a filling taken care of, and she gets really nervous. She suffers from extreme anxiety from needles, and I understand that, but because I'm hypothyroid, I get my labs drawn multiple times a year. I've had 14 surgeries. Like, I've had so many needles poked into me over the course of my life. I don't like it, but it doesn't bother me. I don't understand how my 11-year-old can still be so freaked out by it. So I was already a little bit stressed last Wednesday. And then I wasn't able to get my video up on time because my husband was at urgent care with the numbness and tingling again. And it turns out that they can't figure out what's wrong. They're like, you know, we took more labs, your labs look fine today. So now he's been dealing with numbness and tingling since Wednesday last week, and he just kind of ignores it. He takes a dose of calcium and he keeps going. The doctor at the urgent care mentioned, you know, it could be potentially something that is coincidentally not related to this. So follow up with your regular care doctor, but your calcium level is fine. You're not calcium deficient, despite, you know, the symptoms that you're having that are what we would expect after having your surgery for your thyroid removed. And I was just like, man, don't tell me that there's another problem. So he has still just been going to work, knowing that he doesn't feel 100%, and he just like puts on a happy face and he goes, he's such a good guy, and I really admire him for that, but I also don't want him to be feeling ill. I don't know. It's been a weird week. So I haven't used this in forever. I'm going to use this for my bronzer today. This is one of those products that I used to really enjoy so much. That might be too much. And it has gotten lost in my collection. And I just told myself it's time to start rediscovering what there is, which is why I'm glad I'm doing a declutter. So my mom is finally on the way home to Ohio. She spent a couple weeks with my brother on the other side of the state. And then she is driving home by herself. I don't know. I'm always worried about it when she does this. But she feels more confident driving than she does getting on a plane by herself. So she would much rather spend 4 days driving from the West Coast all the way back to Ohio than she would getting on a plane by herself. And that's fine, whatever makes her happy. But I never really understand it, and I always worry about her so much. So I've been keeping in contact with her, reserving hotel rooms for her, just trying to do whatever I can to make sure she gets there safely. But I had such a good time with my mom. It'd been such a long time since I'd seen her. I was just delighted. I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing a lot this month, which is using both of these Pat McGrath products in conjunction. If I use the blush on its own, beautiful, but if I use the highlight on its own, it's a little deep. So I kind of dip my brush back and forth between the two of them. I'm going to start with just the blush, and I'm going to put it kind of like right here, going up in a highly draped position. And then I'm just going to dip back and forth between the blush and the highlight, and then just kind of turn myself into my own little rose gold glazed donut. I'm going to be a little extra today, and I'm going to dip into the Perfect Blur setting powder from Chantecaille. They're having a 30% off sale this week, I think all the way through the 30th, and there are some codes that you can use. I think it's the 28th through the 31st that they're doing it, but I know Teresa is Dead, Michelle Wong, Kinky Sweat, a lot of people are doing, even Kate the Great has a special code that lets you in early. If you like Chantecaille, if you wanted to try this powder but didn't want to pay $84 for it, you can get it for 30% off, and you can use one of their codes. You can check their YouTube channels for their, fave recommendations and what have you. I do like this powder, but I do feel a little bit like It's a lot. And it's the price that really makes me uncomfortable, but it is super, super lovely. I feel like I'm at that point, if I don't put in some eyebrows now, I'm gonna start looking crazier and crazier as application goes on. I'm just gonna be reaching for my ABH brow pen and just put in a few, ooh, that was a lot, all at once. This got really intense really quick. I don't know if it's because I've not used this product for a long time or that I left it like tipped down in the eyebrow pencil jar. I feel like I'm getting some real severe brow strokes that I don't remember getting before with this product. This was something that I use religiously every day. Maybe the brush end got like a lot of liquid in it because it was facing down, or I hadn't used it in a while and it all just kind of like seeped into the bottom. But I'm worried I'm gonna end up with Sharpie brows. I'm gonna have to hold my breath and hope it all turns out okay. My lips are feeling so dry right now. I'm just gonna throw a little bit of this on. This is the Kosas Sport Balm in the shade Rush. I don't want my lips to dry into little flaky raisins before I get to the point where I'm ready to put a lip product on. We'll wipe this off before too long though. For eyeshadow today, I'm going to be using the Summer Days palette from Sydney Grace. This was one that I got last year during their Christmas and July sale, and if you didn't already know, sale starts today. Their sale is probably one of my favorite sales of the whole year. I know everybody looks forward to like the Sephora spring and fall sales, and I do too, and I like the 21 Days of Beauty at Ulta, but I fell in love with Sydney Grace a couple years ago, and I have not found anything that for the price equals the quality, and I love it so much. I took some time last night as I was going through. I have all of my Sydney Grace singles like in palettes right here. Where are the rest of them? Right here, because I wanted to make sure when I was making my wish list that I wasn't actually that I wasn't actually going to be buying doubles. I've done that before with ColourPop. I've done that before with Makeup Geek. I've done that before with MAC, and I don't want to do that anymore. And the thing is, since I discovered Sydney Grace, you know what's funny is that I don't buy singles from any other company. I'm going to take the darkest matte shade in here called Cherry Picking, and I'm going to take that and just kind of hit the outside corner of my eye with this. I don't want to get too dark, but I do want a little depth. The first year I bought from Sydney Grace was 2019, and they had some special sales. If you spent a certain dollar amount, they would give you a bundle for free. And one of those bundles was this one here. This is Raspberry Kiss, 2019 perk. And this one right here, which I love, which is the Mountain Trail bundle. And then last year for 2020 during the sale, they went from having bundles to actually doing palettes. And this was the one that they were giving away as a perk if you spent a certain amount of money on day one. And then the other one that they were giving away was this one here, the Chase Your Dreams palette. I think it was day 3, and they're doing the same thing this year. They have a new palette. I think is it a coffee break? It's a coffee related today. If you make a purchase of $65 or more, which guess what you're going to be seeing in an upcoming video. And they have another one on Wednesday, and I'm still kind of dithering as to whether I want the one that they're doing on Wednesday as part of their sale. But you know what's great is that you can actually buy the palette. If you don't want to spend the $65 and get the palette for free, you can still just buy the palette on its own. I'm really excited, of course, being a neutral gal, about having another palette by Sydney Grace that's a neutral palette. Love so much. I'm excited about that. Their Sweet Indulgence palette is the one that's coming up on Wednesday, and that's the one I'm not sure that I actually need. And I'm trying really hard, since I'm in the middle of this declutter series, to only get things I know I'm going to use. Now, I would use it because it's Sydney Grace, but the color story is not instantly like, I need you, and maybe I need to see people using it. But it has a purple, I'm looking at it right here, it has a purple, it has kind of a cranberry shade, it has a almost a teal, like a pressed pigment glitter shade. They're really beautiful shades, but I tend to do stuff like this more frequently, so I don't know about the Sweet Indulgence palette. I always use one of these two metallics here, and I kind of feel like maybe I should try something different. So I'm going to use the one next to it, the one that's more of a burgundy. This one's called Blood Orange. And then I'm going to go in with this shade here. This one's my favorite. This one's called S'mores. Oh, so pretty. Maybe I'll just use my finger. I'm just going to finish up my lower lash line. by adding a little contrast down here. I'm gonna throw on some eyeliner and some mascara and I'll be right back. I just wiped off my lip balm and I'm ready to finish up this look with a liner, and I have so many options right in front of me. I don't know what to reach for. I have been loving the Wayne Goss liners, well, since they came out, but I recently got a set and this is the shade Sepia that I love. Reaching for that lip liner really made me want to reach for the gloss too. This is the shade Cherry Blossom. I forgot how good these lip glosses are. I really love this lip gloss from Wayne Goss, and especially this shade in Cherry Blossom. It is, for me, it's like the perfect, easy to wear, neutral but life to my face sort of gloss. The formula is great. It's a little bit heavier than a few others, but not in a bad way. It just means that it lasts longer on my lips. My favorite thing about it is that it's really beautifully pigmented, but it never collects and like strings and pulls in the corners. Can't abide that. And these are super, super comfortable, and they wear longer than a lot of other glosses. I think it's because the formula is just a little bit thicker, but it never feels like goopy or sticky or heavy on the lips. I don't know, love. So thank you so much for watching today. I realized like I was chatty in the first portion, and then I was just kind of like, and it's time to do the makeup. I think I had a little bobble with my eyeshadow today, and then I got really focused, like trying to fix it, and I don't know that I really ever fixed it. But anyway, I think after that point it was like all the chat was gone and it all focused in on like get the makeup just right. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today. Let me know what your go-to products are right now. If you have like a palette that you love. If you're picking anything up during the Sydney Grace sale, let me know what it is you're thinking about. I definitely have already made a purchase, and I will continue to throughout the week, but not too much, because there's something else that I know is debuting this week as well that I'm also really excited about. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely, lovely Monday, and I will see you again soon.